So today we'll be studying syncros, and syncros is yet another inductance based transducer. So you might have heard the word synchronoscope extra. So what syncros does is using the principle of varying inductance, we'll be able to measure position, rather the angular position of rotating devices. Fine. So using synchro, we'll be able to measure the angular position, or it's used for angle measurement of any rotating device, or of the angle measurement of shaft of the rotating device. So this, along with measurement of angular position, synchros also helps in it also helps in correction of angular position. That means it's actually used as a part of position control systems. So synchros, in simple terms, it's an inductance-based transducer, and using a synchros, we'll be able to measure the angular position of any rotating device. We'll be able to measure angle of any shaft of any rotating device, and also using this as a correction tool, as a control element, synchros can help us in angular position control, or measurement of angular error between any two rotating devices. So there are some other names by which synchro is generally referred to. It's either referred to cell-syn, or it's also referred to as autosyn. These are the other names of synchro, trade names rather. Cell-syn simply stands for self-synchronizing. That means it actually has a capability of synchronizing two different rotating elements in the same phase, or automatic synchronizing. ठीक है, मैं उस पर भी आ जाऊंगा कैसे सिंक्रोनाइजेशन बिटवीन टू डिफरेंट machines होती है using synchro. So by the trade name it is referred to as cell-syn or autosyn. So this is an inductance based transducer. In more specifically, I can say it's a mutual inductance based transducer. So basically the mutual inductance will be changing here, and accordingly we'll be able to measure that in terms of voltage, and that will actually give us a measure of the angular position of the rotating device. So अब इसका principle of operation क्या है? So somewhat it works somewhat similar to that of a transformer and an alternator. So there are two electromechanical devices that you already are aware about. One is a transformer, and another one is a synchronous generator, or what's also known as an alternator. So the principle of operation is actually derived from a transformer and an alternator. So you can, in other words, also say that synchro in itself is an electromechanical device. That means itself is an electrical machine, and it will be able to. It is capable of generating voltage, uh, similar, just like a synchronous generator does. Fine. So now the operation of principle of operation is that since it's a somewhat similar to an alternator and a transformer. It will also have a stator and a rotor. So there will be stator windings. Okay. So you can say these are the stator windings. You will have three-phase stator windings, and you will have rotor that will be in between the stator windings. अब ये stator windings आपको पता है ये कैसे connected होती है. So the rotor, in case of a synchro, it can take any of these three forms. These are the rotor point. So you have a bell shaped, you have a cylindrical rotor, ठीक है, and or you have a circular rotor. So जो आपकी अब रोटर की वाइंडिंग्स होती है, रोटर की जो वाइंडिंग होगी that will be either wound on a bell shaped rotor or it will be on a cylindrical rotor or it will be on a circular rotor. So in all the cases, the rotor is actually consists of only it is fed from uh, an AC source, not a DC source in this case. It will be fed from an AC source. So there is a starter, three-phase starter windings. There is a rotor. Rotor can take any of these three shapes, bell-shaped, cylindrical, or circular. And the rotor in this case is actually excited by a single-phase AC source. Let me show the construction now, complete construction. So, say for example, we have a circular rotor. Uh, this winding actually will be wound over this circular rotor. So this here is the basic representation of a synchro. Okay, so this actually here refers to the rotor, and these three windings are that of the stator. Fine. So stator will be wound. Stator will be made. Stator in case of a synchro is made up of a steel structure. Just like starter in case of a synchronous generator, उसमें वो slots and teeth होते हैं, उसमें फिर windings को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाता है, वैसा ही स्टार्टर होगा. बीच में रोटर होगा. रोटर कैन बी सर्कुलर, डम्बेल, और इट कैन बी सिलेंड्रिकल इन शेप, जिसके ऊपर एक सिंगल वाइंडिंग होगी. दिस सिंगल वाइंडिंग ऑफ द रोटर विल एक्चुअली बी excited from an AC source in this case, not a DC source like a synchronous machine. And the rotor, this AC will be connected to the windings, to the rotor windings through an arrangement of slip rings. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे मैं स्विच दिखा रहा हूँ, ये एक्चुअली स्लिप रिंग्स को डिनोट करता है. तो आपकी जो रोटर वाइंडिंग होगी that will be connected to the external AC source via slip ring arrangement. You have the three-phase stator windings distributed over the actual stator का स्ट्रक्चर जो होता है, स्लॉट्स एंड टीथ होते हैं जैसे सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर में, वैसा ही होगा. So you will have EA, EB, and EC. Now, one, you are exciting the rotor using the AC source, and two, this rotor will actually be connected to the actual machine जिसकी हम रोटर मेजरमेंट कर रहे हैं, जिसका हमें पोजीशन मेजरमेंट करना है. ठीक है, तो ये एक्चुअल वो मशीन है जिसका हमें पोजीशन मेजर करना है, जो बाहर से उसका जो शाफ्ट है दैट्स अटैच टू द रोटर ऑफ द सिंक्रो. So that means one, एक तो आपका rotor, it is being supplied with an AC voltage source, and two, it is rotating because of the rotation of the actual motor that's located outside. So you are actually producing a rotating magnetic field. So with the production of a rotating magnetic field, what happens is that voltage will be induced in the three stator windings EA, EB, and EC. Now in this case, what will be the value, the uh, voltage produced? EA will be simply E max sine of omega t cos theta. EB will be E max sine of omega t cos 120 minus theta, and EC will be E max sine of omega t cos of 240 minus theta. Fine. So आपका जो rotor है, it's being supplied with a voltage of, say for example, E max sine omega t. The rotor voltage is E max sine omega t. This is the EAC, the external voltage that we are applying to the rotor through the slipping arrangement. Fine. The rotor is rotating because it's coupled with the shaft of that machine जिसका हमें angular position measure करना है. So uh, what happens is, because the rotor is rotating, also it is being fed with an AC volt supply, so a rotating magnetic field is generated. That rotating magnetic field will induce, what will it induce? It will induce voltage in the three stator windings. They will be equal to Emax. They will be actually dependent upon the uh, this is simply EA is equal to EAC cos theta, EB is equal to EAC cos 120 minus theta, EC is EAC cos of 240 minus theta degrees. Fine. So now the frequency of voltage induced in these three stator windings EA, EB, EC. The frequency of these induced voltage will be equal to the frequency of the applied voltage EAC. Okay. So using by measuring now the voltage and the phase and the voltage and the phase of the generated voltage EA, EB, EC, we can actually determine we can actually determine the rotor position. And once we know the rotor position, we can actually say what should be the rotor position of that motor that was actually coupled with this synchro. Okay, is this clear? You have actually a you have a you have a motor जिसकी हमें पोजीशन मेजरमेंट करनी है, तो उसका जो हम शाफ्ट है उसको हम कपल करते हैं with the rotor of the synchro. The rotor of the synchro is also excited by an external AC voltage source. So since there is an AC voltage source and it's rotating because of the rotation of that, it's rotating, that means आपका जो magnetic field produce होगा because of this rotor winding, that will be rotating in nature. So you have a rotating magnetic field that will induce three phase voltage in the stator windings EA, EB, and EC. Or the magnitude of EA, EB, EC will actually be dependent upon the magnitude of one. It will depend upon the coupling coefficient now here. यहाँ पे मैं वो I forgot that. EA will be equal to K times EAC cos theta. ऐसे EB will be equal to K times EAC cos 120 minus theta, and EC will be equal to K times EAC cos 240 minus theta. मैंने जैसे आपको कहा, there are two principles of operation here. One is the principle of operation of a synchronous generator, and second is the principle of operation of the transformer. अब ये जो induced voltage हो जाएगी, उसका जो magnitude होगा वो that will be linked with respect to the rotor windings. So you can now assume here that the rotor winding is a primary winding and the Stator winding here is a secondary winding. So जो secondary winding की voltage होगी, that will depend upon the primary winding multiplied by the coupling coefficient as well as by the turns ratio. ठीक है. So this K actually represents here the coupling coefficient between the stator windings and the rotor windings, and accordingly the magnitude of voltage induced will be actually proportional to the magnitude of applied uh, applied voltage across the rotor. So magnitude will depend upon the coupling coefficient, but as far as the frequency is concerned, जो frequency applied voltage की है rotor, जो हम rotor को voltage apply कर रहे हैं, जिस frequency पे apply कर रहे हैं, same will be the frequency of EA, EB and EC. So you have magnitude of EA, EB, EC. These are you can say these are the secondary voltage of a transformer. They will depend upon the magnitude of, they will be proportional to the magnitude of primary voltage, that's actually ESC in this case, multiplied with the turns ratio and the coupling coefficient between the primary winding and the secondary winding. And second, इसका जो frequency होगा EA, EB और EC का, that will be equal to the frequency of EAC. ठीक है, मैग्नीट्यूड की जहां तक बात है, that will be proportional to the magnitude of EAC depending upon the turns ratio and coupling coefficient, while as the frequency is concerned, frequency of EA, EB, EC will be same as the frequency of the applied voltage EAC. Now we know that the frequency is same, so only thing that we need to here measure is actually this angular position theta. So once we know the phase of these voltage, we can say what will be the rotor position, and accordingly we can say what will be the position of the sync of the motor, that's actually जिसका हम measurement करना चाहते हैं, जिसकी हमें rotor position measure करनी है. Is this clear so far? This is the basic principle of operation of a synchro. Now the particular application जहाँ पे actually synchro use होता है, it's very less used as a position measurement device. It's more used as a control device. So इसमें दो parts होते हैं, इसमें एक तो transmitter होता है and second one is a receiver. So as a control device, it will have two parts. Both will be synchro devices only. Both will be generators, synchronous generators, but one will be referred to as a transmitter and another one will be referred to as a receiver. This receiver will actually act as the synchro device there. So इसका arrangement क्या होता है? इसका arrangement कुछ ऐसे होता है जैसे भी हमने बनाया. S1, S1 dash. You have you have two synchro devices. They are connected in this fashion to each other. Fine. So one will act as a transmitter. So इसका मतलब ये है कि it will actually transmit your information about the position over some distance, अगर जितनी भी distance होगी. And second synchro device here will actually act as the receiver and as the control device it will actually receive that information about the position and accordingly generate the output voltage that will be necessary for control mechanism. फिर ये जो output voltage यहाँ पे होगी that will be connected to some motor जिसका हमें position control करना होगा. ठीक है, so ये जो output voltage यहाँ से generate होगी that will go to a controller that will actually give the appropriate amount of voltage magnitude to the motor so that it change the position of this second device. तो इसको से फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर 1 लिख देता हूँ, इसको मैं सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर 2 लिखता हूँ. So what synchronous generator 1 is? It's a transmitter. That means it actually transmits the information about the position over some distance, and SG2 is the receiver or the control device. It's also known as the control. So इसमें क्या होगा? It will actually receive that information about the position and accordingly produce a control output. So अब इन दोनों devices, इन दोनों synchronous generators में क्या difference है? Mostly this type of ये जो आपका यहाँ पे दूसरा जनरेटर होगा इसका जो रोटर होगा that will be one circular in design and this will be bell or cylindrical in design. ठीक है, एक तो वो डिफरेंस होगी. दूसरी डिफरेंस है the angular position of the rotor. You can see the angular position of the rotor initially. This is referred to as electrical 0 degrees. Fine. While as this will be electrical, अगर वो 0 डिग्री पे तो ये 90 डिग्री पे आपका जो एक रोटर है that's at an angle of 0 degrees while your another rotor is at an angle of 90 degrees. So अब क्या होगा कि आपका rotor of SG1 is rotating it and it is being excited by a AC voltage source. So it will induce voltage in S1, S2 and S3 and that means it's actually producing a flux. This S1 is connected to S1 dash, S2 is connected to S2 dash and S3 is connected to S3 dash. The three windings of these ये जो आपके दो synchronous generators इनकी जो windings है they are connected to each other, S1 to S1 dash, S2 to S2 dash and S3 to S3 dash. The angular position of the electrical angle of SG1 is 0 degrees while as the electrical angle of SG2 it's at 90 degrees. अब क्या होगा जैसे आपका SG1 it will produce flux, it will induce a maximum voltage in the winding 1 at this time. ठीक है, so we are assuming 0 degrees. So S1 में से for example maximum voltage अभी induce होगी in the windings maximum voltage अभी induce होगी. Cos theta is actually cos 0 आपका 1 हो गया. So maximum voltage इस time पे induce होगी in S1, S2 and S3. They are only lagging behind by that minus 120 degrees. ठीक है. Same voltage will now be transmitted to S1 dash, S2 dash and S3 dash. That means same amount of current is flowing through S1, S1 and S1 dash, S2 and S3 dash. That means same flux pattern. The flux pattern in SG2 will be same as compared to the flux pattern of SG1. अगर same current flow कर रही है through S1 and S1 dash, that means flux pattern SG2 में अब क्या होगा? Flux pattern will be यहाँ पे S1 में rotor flux generate कर रहा है. That flux is getting linked with S1, S2 and S3 जिसकी वजह से voltage induce हो रही है. Current S1 और S1 dash में same flow कर रही है and since this रोटर स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ SG2 is circular in nature. That means इस टाइम पे मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ लीकेज इम्पीडेंस होगी. That means if there is minimum amount of leakage impedance, we can say almost the flux pattern of SG1 and SG2 will be somewhat similar. ठीक है. S1 के साथ जो फ्लक्स पैटर्न लिंक हो रहा है और S1 डैश जो फ्लक्स पैटर्न जनरेट कर रहा है, that will be in the same direction. In other words, but what is the case here is that your rotor is now at placed at an angle of 90 degrees with respect to S1 dash. That means अब यहाँ पे जो voltage induce होगी in rotor, that will be equal to, that will be proportional to cos of 90 degrees. That means it will be zero. इसका जो magnitude होगा इस टाइम पे, that will be 0 degrees, that will be 0 volts. ठीक है. In SG1 you are आपका जो रोटर है SG1 का, you are exciting it by an AC source, and at this position, at this particular position at 0 degrees, maximum amount of voltage is induced in S1 because cos theta is equal to cos 0 is equal to 1. That means maximum amount of voltage is induced in S1, and same amount of current is flowing in S1 and S1 dash. That means same amount of flux pattern will be produced. And since the rotor of SG2 is circular in shape, that means the leakage impedance will be minimum possible. So we can actually assume that flux in both the two machines here, that is SG1 and SG2, they are aligned in the same direction. Because of leakage impedance, uh, there might have been some deviation between the two flux patterns. But since we are assuming that the rotor is circular in shape, that means minimum amount of leakage impedance is there. That means we can assume that flux patterns are nearly aligned to each other. अब डिफरेंस कहाँ पे है? रोटर की पोजीशन में है. इस यहाँ पे अब जो SG2 में रोटर की पोजीशन है, दैट्स अलाइंड एट 90 डिग्रीज. तो जब यहाँ पे अब वोल्टेज इंड्यूस होगी, दैट विल बी प्रोपोर्शनल टू कॉस ऑफ 90 डिग्रीज. दैट मीन्स एक्चुअली आपके जो सेकेंडरी साइड वोल्टेज होगी, जो आपकी रोटर में वोल्टेज इंड्यूस होगी इन SG2, in that will be 0 volts. ठीक है. Now if any deviation of rotor takes place from say for example it will deviate from 0 degrees to 10 degrees or 20 degrees, whatever takes place, so some amount of voltage will be induced in this secondary, ये जो आपका दूसरा डिवाइस है SG2, इसमें कुछ वोल्टेज इंड्यूस हो जाएगी. दैट मीन्स E naught at that time will not be 0. It will have some magnitude dependent. So I'm repeating, as a control device, you have two synchros being connected to each other, or in other words, we can say two synchronous generators connected to each other. Synchronous generator 1 में rotor winding is aligned at electrical angle 0 degrees. In synchronous generator 2, the rotor winding is aligned at an angle 90 degrees. In synchronous generator 1, the rotor is excited by an external AC voltage source, EAC, and at this particular angle at 0 degrees, maximum amount of voltage will be induced in the starter winding 1. Same amount of current is flowing through S1 and S1 dash. That means the flux will be aligned to each other. In this SG1 में अगर flux की direction ऐसे, तो SG2 में भी flux की direction ऐसे ही generate होगी. Because not only the rotor of the SG2 is also circular in shape. That means leakage impedance will be minimum. So we can safely assume that the flux patterns in both these synchronous generators, they are aligned to each other. The thing here in SG2 is that rotor is aligned at 90 degrees to SG1. That means now since flux will be aligned to at 90 degrees to the rotor windings in case of SG2, that means at this very particular point, E output will be equal to 0. So 0 volts is being produced. That means when this condition will be met, अगर आपका जो यहाँ से मोटर है जिसका हम एक्चुअली कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं पोजीशन, उस टाइम पे रोटर की पोजीशन ऐसे है कि इट इज नॉट ऑल्टरिंग दिस रोटर पोजीशन ऑफ दिस सिंक्रोनस जनरेटर टू, इट विल बी अलाइंड टू 90 डिग्रीज. दिस वोल्टेज प्रोड्यूस विल बी इक्वल टू दिस वोटर वोल्टेज प्रोड्यूस विल बी इक्वल टू 0 volts. फाइन. अब अगर यहाँ से मोटर ने डिविएशन की, इट डिविएट्स बाय 10 डिग्रीज 20 डिग्रीज, दैट मीन्स आपकी जो रोटर वाइंडिंग है यहाँ पे, इट विल ऑल्सो बी डिविएटेड बाय 10 डिग्रीज और 20 डिग्रीज. ठीक है. नाउ दिस फ्लक्स विल नो लॉन्गर बी at 90 degrees to now this rotor will be no longer at 90 degrees to the flux, it will be now at 70 degrees 80 degrees depending upon the deviation of the motor. As soon as that deviation takes place, now cos 70 cos 80, it is not equal to 0. So E naught produced here will not be equal to 0. There will be some magnitude of voltage being generated here that will go to the controller, and that will send this information that this much amount of rotation has to take place so that the motor goes back to its original position. Is this clear?
सर मोटर्स वापस कैसे कनेक्टेड है फिर SG2 के साथ, यहाँ से अगर हमने ऑलरेडी रोटर को किया है कनेक्ट इसके साथ?
अब इस जब हम कंट्रोल एप्लीकेशन की बात करें, मोटर इज कनेक्टेड टू SG2. हेयर मोटर इज नॉट कनेक्टेड टू SG1. यहाँ से जो वोल्टेज है, यहाँ से जो वोल्टेज है, दैट इज कांस्टेंट इन दिस केस. दिस विल बी अलाइंड एट 0 degrees always. That means maximum amount of voltage will always be produced in S1, while as cos of 120 and cos of 240 degrees voltage will be induced. यहाँ पे अब खाली जो कपलिंग की वजह से वोल्टेज इंड्यूस हो रही है, दैट विल बी इंड्यूस्ड इन S1 S2 एंड S3. यहाँ पे कोई रोटेशन नहीं हो रही है. On the on the case of SG1 side, there is no rotation of the rotor. We can make it rotate also by some mechanisms. उस टाइम पे फिर आपको दोनों rotors को simultaneously वैसे ही rotate कराना है at the same using the same device, but we can keep it stationary at this particular angle. Whatever is the coupling between primary winding and the secondary winding, the volt that amount of voltage will be induced in S1, S2 and S3 in this particular application now.
सर मैं एक्सटर्नल मोटर की बात कर रहा हूँ, अगर मतलब जिसका हम मेजर कर रहे हैं ये
हाँ,
फेज, अगर उसमें कोई डेविएशन आ रही है
जैसे
तो
यहाँ पे
SG2 कैसे, जी सर, ये SG2 कैसे उसको सेंस करेगा?